And welcome back to Open, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. You know, in 2004, our next guest was recognized as the most outstanding Hispanic woman in business by the New York State Assembly. Now, Sylvia Montero is here to share her story, not history, her story. Her story. You're welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to see you. An outstanding businesswoman. Now you have a book. You're an author?
I'm an author.
Oh, there you go. You got to keep
thought?
on climbing the ladder. Now, tell us about your humble beginnings and your rise to leadership, climbing the ladder.
Bob, I was born in Puerto Rico in a little wooden house on stilts in the middle of a sugarcane plantation where my father worked. Southwest Puerto Rico, the little town of Cabo Rojo.
Oh,
so
yes,
we were in the
yes.
outskirts of the town.
Yes.
No electricity, no running water. 4 other siblings. So there were 7 of us in this tiny little house on stilts, and with very little income. And my family moved to New York looking for a better living. And so I grew up in the projects of the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And the most important thing in our lives, our parents were encouraging us to study, to do well in school, because we had no money for a college education. And if we wanted to go to college and they said we needed to go to college, we would have to earn scholarships. So there was a tremendous emphasis on education. So I got a scholarship at Barnard College of Columbia University. I went for a master's at Queens College. I became a teacher. I taught for a couple of years, got laid off by New York City when New York City was going through a similar situation as the city's going through now. And I moved back to Puerto Rico. Taught at the university for a semester, and then changed professions and joined the pharmaceutical industry. For the next 30 years, I was in the pharmaceutical industry, learning how to be successful within this very huge corporate environment.
Pfizer. Yes.
I joined another small company before Pfizer for a year and a half, and that became my kind of like my college education in human resources, since my education had been in Spanish literature and not in business. And so I learned on the job, and there were quite a number of situations that were very meaningful to me about learning in a new environment. A year and a half after I joined this small company, Pfizer got me. And for the next 28 and a half years later, I retired from Pfizer as the head of human
But you became
resources.
familiar with the corporate world. You were bilingual. You knew how to move. You knew the shakers.
Absolutely.
Yes. And
I had to learn.
Yes.
I had to learn that those were important things. So I call it organizational savvy. It is. You have to have good.
How important is organizational savvy?
I think it's critical. You know, my statement, which opens eyes, is performance is not enough. You can be the best performer as far as delivering the projects on time, and doing good quality work. But in order to climb that ladder, the people who make the decisions have to know who you are and have to respect you and expect that you will be successful. So understanding the culture in which you work, having that power of observation and strong interpersonal skills is critical to climbing that ladder successfully.
So get the knowledge of what to do, what to say, how to be.
I'll tell you one more thing.
Where to go.
Present yourself.
Present yourself.
Present yourself in the best way. Present yourself. So now, presenting yourself, you know, most people think only about clothing, and I think that's really important.
Yes.
Clothing, how you dress, how you your stance, your expressions, right? But I believe also that the way that you present yourself is also how healthy are you? So take care of yourself.
Exercise your mind and body every day.
Absolutely. Eat well,
in preparation for
exercise,
life.
Go to your annual physicals. Take care of yourself, because a healthy person is a better performer.
Generally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you have, you take care of yourself, you feel good about yourself, you then look good, and then the last thing in presentation of self, you need to learn how to speak.
Yes.
How to speak, be a good conversationalist, be able to speak in public. And I have to tell you, Bob, that was my bane.
There you go.
It took me years. It took me years to feel comfortable
You were
speaking in public.
frightened.
I was terrified. I was terrified.
A lot of people are.
Absolutely. And I knew that as you go up the ladder, when you become a leader, you must be able to speak to senior leadership, to larger groups, to your groups, and you must be able to do it well.
Yeah, because you're leading, people are following, and you want people to respect you and follow you. I mean, if you're not doing the right thing, they're not going to want to do the right thing.
And you want to interact with them in a way that they believe in you.
Yes.
That you motivate them. And
that's important too. Are you believable?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. And so the extent to which you communicate self-assurance will determine how individuals follow you. And that term self-assurance, I think, is really critical because growing up a minority in the Lower East Side, I suffered what many young people suffer through, and that is the issue of not believing in myself.
Yes, yes.
And I had to go through that process and get over that. I remember that it was sometime in high school as a teenager where I said to myself, you know, I am not going to allow other people's discrimination, prejudices to affect how I feel about myself. And so I am responsible for how I feel about myself.
Yeah.
And from then on, it just developed more and more, and that sense of self-assurance needs to come through, and it keeps giving back your entire life.
What do you say to the person who doesn't feel motivated? I mean, this happens a lot now, of course, in our public school system, in a place of business where sometimes people make you feel worthless and you're not motivated and your self-esteem is low. What do you say to those people? So
there's one critical phrase that you used that I like to jump on, and that is sometimes people make you feel worthless. Make you feel
Yes.
worthless. My point is that there isn't a string or a chain between another person and you and how you feel,
Right.
that another person cannot make you feel in any way unless you allow that person.
So then you can make you feel.
It's your decision. It's your decision to allow a person's behavior to lead you down that spiral. And so, you know, I think it was really critical to reach a point where you depend on yourself. And that gives you so much resilience, because one of the things many of the examples that I try to give in my book is when things did not go well for me, because resilience and tenacity and knowing that, oh, okay, so I flunked here, or I failed here, or this didn't work out, but I know I can do this.
I can always make the grade.
I can work harder, I can get more information, I can do it this way, but never give up on yourself. And that's the point of my book.
Yes.
I wrote the book to reach young people with obstacles to overcome, to help them be motivated, to never give up on themselves, and to help them understand that they too can be successful. If I could do this, they can do this.
Make it your business to
Make
get
it
the
your
job
business.
done. Make it your business. This is wonderful. So all of those wonderful things you put in this book so that other people can understand what you've gone through,
Yes.
and get some valuable information from
Yes,
it.
this is a book of memoir. So you have my story. I think it's important to know from rags, the
From
the
whence you
rags,
came
right,
from.
from the
Yeah.
rags to the riches, the American story. And then most of the book is dedicated to my experiences and my learnings moving up that corporate ladder. I wrote the book to give back. I wrote the book to reach a larger population of young people who might benefit from my story. And the proceeds from the book are going to my nonprofit work.
Oh.
Towards my nonprofit. I'm on the board of the Grand Street Settlement, a wonderful organization that helps the poor people in Lower East Side,
Yes, yes.
where I grew up.
Yes.
And so the profits from the book will go to the Grand Street Settlement.
Oh my God, God bless you.
To help.
Look at it. Help us continue
you.
to help other people, giving back. Make it your business to pick up this book. Where can we get it?
Amazon.com. You can get the book itself, or you can download it to Kindle. It's also available on the Nook. And on my website, there's also a link to Smashwords that will provide other electronic download opportunities.
Are you available to help others write their book?
There is an email there. There is an email there. I don't know if I can help others write a book. But I must say, the process of writing the book was so introspective and fulfilling, and it was an incredible learning experience that I would recommend that everyone write a book.
Yeah,
about
it helped you to reach deep down and pull out some of the things that you may have forgotten about.
A great way to express it, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it helped you to realize your direction and helping other people get what they need out of life.
And the reflection was very, very healing, if you will.
Yes.
And at the end of each chapter, I do put my final reflections on it. The takeaway points, so that people can have something very simple to summarize some of the main points in each chapter.
May I read this?
Please, it's yours.
Thank you. Can you sign it?
I will.
Thank you so much.
It'll be my pleasure.
Okay, there you have it. Sylvia Montero. She's an author now, too, and a great business person and a beautiful person to talk to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. And you can come as many times as you like.